down along the river, which is why they have road here closed. So I'd imagine there's a lot more vehicles down along Britain's Bridge Road to the east, if I had to guess. So I'm going to go back to my car.
Have you heard anything like gunshots or anything like that over there? Because I imagine
nothing like that.
There too.
No, nothing like that. Nope. It's just been, only thing I've heard is a drone to the helicopters. So on the corner of Britain's Bridge and Pocopson, I'm going to head down towards Pocopson Road. That runs right alongside the river, which I'm still don't understand what's going on there entirely. Why they have traffic there, and they have traffic going towards back up to heading west along Pocopson. They don't have that. They have that closed. Don't get that fully, but let me keep going and figure out what's going on. Let me just plug this in my car while I put you on speaker. All right, heading down Pocopson right now, heading east. Nothing along the road right now. It's completely clear. Don't see any lights. All the vehicles I saw, if I had to guess, all those cops I saw were heading towards that road. Trying to figure out where then the troops that are in pursuit would be. So right now, I am along the river. This runs right along the river, Pocopson Road, and it runs along the river to the west of it. Creek Road runs along the east side of the river. Both of them just run along either side of it. Creek Road is big thing difference here. Pocopson Road, one side of it you have like a lot of some trees, tall plants and whatnot. And the other side is just open fields, your farm fields. Creek Road, you have your river. You then have you have trees that line the river. Some of the areas have some like wetlands, some marshes between them and the road, Creek Road. But then right after that, right next to Creek Road, it's all more wooded area. So if he makes it past Creek Road, they're going to have a really tough time. So that's why they have so much stuff there. I mean, I think you guys saw earlier before I got asked to move by those homeowners, just that huge squad of armed soldiers. They look like soldiers at this point with all their helmets and their rifles and everything. All those troops, they're putting everything on that line right now to keep him from going that way. So if I had to guess, he's probably going to be heading further south potentially. I can only make a guess though.
Now, do you have any visuals on the chats for the winery, but where the police were? I was told that there's like a lot of smoke coming out of the area. Like
on winery, no clue.
No clue. All right.
Yeah. I'm just gonna pull into Ace Hardware right now, figure out, get an idea of what's going on here. Let me swing around. I'm going to go to along 926 again, just to take a look at the bridge. I'm trying to figure out, what I cannot figure out right now is where the borders are. Only border I know they have established is Creek Road, the east side of the river.
Okay.
Where I was earlier, where you saw all the vehicles responding to, and where I eventually got kicked out from. So that means they had stuff set up there, and then shortly after I left, you said they had a sighting there, which would mean that if they had a sighting there, likely means that he crossed the river then, for them to have spotted him there, because it's tough to see through the river. So if they saw him there, he crossed the river, so he must be heading. Trying to figure out my directions here. I think it would be south, because Pocopson or Brandywine River runs north-south. So he's heading southwards, and that would be heading towards Route 1. Route 1 is, busy road. There is a lot of wetlands down by by where Brandywine River runs underneath Route 1. It's a very, very marshy area there. Trees still line the river, but I mean, I've driven past that spot a lot. You also have Chadsford Elementary right there as well. So for all we know, he could try to break into there and hole himself up in there. Unlikely with how he's been moving. He's been trying to avoid staying inside. He's been trying to avoid staying inside anywhere. Been trying to stay outside under the tree cover. So, because if he goes inside a building, he'll just box himself in. I'm going over right now towards the bridge. I'm just going to go check out, see if there's anything to see there. But not sure. Does anybody in the chat, have they heard anything on the scanners recently? Any updates?
I'm waiting to see. And let me also check again with my texts. And guys, the reception isn't going to get any better if I go.
Is the reception here bad? Is the reception here an issue?
That's what I'm hearing.
Okay. Oh, for you? Or
yeah, for me.
I remember when I was watching the stream, there was a bunch of times where it cut out. It was like stopping or getting fuzzy and it cutting out. So there were some reception issues, yes.
So I'm going to try to put you right here to continue talking as I finish lighting up the scene, just in case.
Okay. What I wanted to know, though, was if there was any recent updates on the scanners. Because I can't really make out what the borders of what they have moving is. I know, the only thing I know is for sure is they have a perimeter along that river on the other side, the east side of the river. They don't want them going any further, which makes sense because of how wooded it is past that point. It's even denser there than it was west of the river. Because there's far fewer houses in there, so it's just a lot more woods. I see them currently circling to my south, it looks like. I see also, if I look up, I see what looks like a fixed-wing plane. It looks like they brought back the fixed-wing plane. I bet people look on the radar, they'll see that. Yeah, he's circling right now, so they got a fixed-wing plane back again. So they're using that for wide area reconnaissance. I have, this one's flying too low to be a news chopper. That has to be a police chopper that just flew over me, flew over Ace Hardware. And that kind of follows around the area he was last spotted between 926 and, I can't remember the name of the road, even though I go down it all the time, but along Creek Road. He's actually heading towards Brandywine Picnic Park. That's north. He may be going back to refuel because he's going in a straight line right now. It looks like that's the case. It looks like he's going right now, probably back to the airport because that's the closest one here, Westchester Regional Airport. He's going back there to refuel while they have the fixed wing up. Although I don't see the fixed wing plane anymore. No, there it is. The fixed-wing plane is, he's still circling the area. So that one's going back to refuel. Fixed-wing plane's up recircling back the area. I see another chopper coming in from the southeast, I believe. Yeah, southeast. Don't know if that's a news or if he's actually maybe leading. I cannot tell from this distance. I'm going to go onto the bridge now because I'm standing right now on the train tracks by Ace Hardware. So I'm going to go on to walk along 926. See if I see anything moving. A bunch of people passed me say thank you, so maybe there are people that watch your stream. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where stuff is. It looks like it's still along. I've seen a bunch of of aircraft moving a bunch of different ways. I still see the news chopper, I believe, circling around here, and the fixed-wing aircraft is still circling around. He is east of my position. Not east, sorry, south. So along the Copson Road, it looks like. Basically, it's where I first was at. If I had to guess their current location, where I was first at earlier, by those fields where that mill was, where I was requested to leave by those people from private property, I'd imagine that he's there. They set up a perimeter to the north of him and also to the east of along the river, and they're trying to push him south right now towards Route 1. And given where that plane's circling, it's kind of in that direction. So I have to imagine he's somewhere along there. And that's also why they brought in that mower or whatever you want to call it to clear those fields so it doesn't have a place to hide, and also gives them much easier line of sight towards the tree canopy at the river as well.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to go back to my car because there's not much to see right now because it looks like everything's moving south right now. That would explain why they were not letting people, if I go back to Pecopson and Britain's Bridge, it would explain why they're not letting people go south along Britain's Bridge past Pecopson, because they're pushing them that way. And north probably because they think that if they're pushing them south there, you could potentially try to double back and they'll head west again. So they don't want people there. So they must have made they have a perimeter in some form that they're trying to box them in. And I guess what I was there along was the corner. I got some fans here. Probably trying to box him into in a certain area. And so they're putting him on, sorry, I'm trying to run and talk. Yeah, they're trying to draw him in. So Copson and Britain's Bridge is probably a corner of one of their borders they have. Now, this is all just guesses. So I probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So just take it with a grain of salt. But we'll go with it. Give me a second while I get back in. I got another low-flying helicopter right over the property right now. I'm going to check the radar to see which one. Actually, I'm going to check the radar so I can see what's where. Give me a better idea of where the situation's centered around or where they think he's at. All right, so what just went over me is the ABC News chopper. I am not seeing the fixed-wing aircraft on the radar. Yes, the police helicopter did land at Brandywine Regional Airport. It's at 2500 West Street Road is what I just got text on. West Street Road. Creek and Meeting House. That's going to be tough. That's where it was beforehand. They're not letting anybody along Creek Road. Let me take a look on the map real quick to see. 2055 Street Road. West Street Road. That's 0.4 miles from my location. Oh. Really? 2055 West Street Road? Yeah, I can get there. I'm right there. Are you sure that's it? Because there's nothing here. Never mind. Yes, there is. It just happened here. Okay. Yes, I see police vehicles here. All right, hold up. I'm gonna get out of my car again then. So they're stopping all traffic there. I'm gonna go around up. flashlight back home, which I really need right now, but let's see what we see here. Yeah, looks like they're stopping traffic there. Let me put this on speaker. All right, there we go. Now on speaker. I see a bunch of vehicles stopped over there by 2055 Street Road. Walking along, what is this? Copson Road. Vehicles are going by there pretty slowly. Give me a text, let me know what's happening there, or why. See if I can get there. I can, but the question is, what's going on? They just let vehicles that stop there by. So I'm trying to figure out if it's worth me driving there or if it's something where I should be walking to, so that I can get a longer view there. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the significance of 2055 West Street Road? That's what I need to know.
I was told that it's like a better view of the action there. Like maybe if you could find something, we could go like on FaceTime.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's pretty dark out right now, so I don't know how much there is to see at this point. I did go by there earlier, and yeah, there were some people stopped there I saw. There's an open field nearby there that you can see the trees that run the river.
Yeah.
I'll head over there. I am starving right now. Give me a second. All right, I got a great dialogue here of how I'm waiting at this red light for you if you want. Got one car going by, just a regular civilian car, 2 cars. Any updates on the scanners? That's actually a fair question. I do not see. Oh, there comes a. Did I just get blocked? No. He's circling around. I just had 2. Okay, they're stopped. Okay, I just had a bunch of cops just show up here. They're blocking 926 right now, going back west. So something just happened there. Something's happening that way. So where they had the vehicles earlier is where stuff's going down right now. I wonder if I can cheat this and bypass by going up Copson Elementary and hold up. I'm going to circle back around, see if I can cheat it by going up Copson Elementary, and you can then bypass and get onto 926 from there. So I'm going to do something I shouldn't be doing and bypassing the roadblock they got. I don't think they have this stopped up here because they're not expecting anybody to do what I'm doing. So I'm just as curious as the people watching this are right now. So, but
scanners are saying there's 2,400.
No, so right now I was at 926 in the Copson. Where you wanted me to go, they just I was at that intersection there. They just pulled up 3 police vehicles and a fire vehicle with basically to block access along that road. So they're blocking access now to 926 from Pocopson. So right now I'm driving through Pocopson Elementary parking lot, heading over to 926, bypassing their roadblock. Also, actually, if I stop up here first, I'll give you guys a view of what it's like up here right now, because you can get a little bit of view of some of the vehicles here. So hold up 1 second before I keep going. They blocked off that road for a reason. So I need to see what's going on here. So let me stream this to you, see if I should have good cell reception here.
Can we see anything?
But right now, that intersection there, this is what they just blocked. They got, so they don't want people going up this road here. So what I was doing, I was going through Thompson Elementary School right here. This is where it was at the start of things. It's going to cut through and bypass and go to 926. See along there along Britain's Bridge Road, but you can see where they have stuff stopped, and also in the further distance you can see they got, this might be tough to see, there's some blue lights, that's where they're blocking off Creek Road. So I'm going to stop streaming here because there's not much to see at this point.
Yeah.
But I'll stay on, there we go. On audio. I'm surprised they didn't block this because there's actually a lot of people up here at Cops Elementary. That were just watching everything from to kind of see. There's not much changes here. See one police car. So where they have the road blocked there, I saw one police car just leave that spot and go towards. He's heading over towards 926. I'm just going to wait here for a moment to kind of get an idea of what's happening and where the place to go might be. If they have a vehicle blocking this road ahead of time, though, it means that that means is that they're pushing him this way.
Should we move to this?
Is what that means. So,
Okay.
or there's a chance that he's going to return around and go this way. So they're trying to keep him from other people from being nearby. I'm going to go and just take a look and inspect. If I don't see anything to support my hypothesis, then I'm going to go back and go to that address you told me about, 20 or 2055 Street Road, I believe it was. Interesting. Nothing along 926 right now where they have the roadblocks. No cars, no cops, nothing. If I go back to Britain's Bridge Road, again, it's empty here as well. So I'm making another circle right now with what I was doing earlier. It's very dark out right now at this point, as you guys probably can see in the stream. So that means
we're working to light the area, but we want to make sure we don't blind the officers. So that's why
I saw movement in front of me, but that's just two deer. Yep. So I'm going along Britain's Bridge Road. I still do not understand why they have 926 blocked. Seeing a whole bunch of vehicles stopping along the Cobson Road right now.
So we're still trying to light the area up, guys, so that way we can get a good shot from across the street. I'm going to go and ask the trooper what his thoughts are about us going across the street, just so we have lighting. Give me a second.
I'm losing signal to you guys right now. It is very tough to see at night with the police lights all flickering like this. All right, there we go. All right, somebody interesting. They're stopping traffic coming up this way. So I'm going past. All right. Something's developing over here because they're not letting people go back up the Cobson Road towards where I just went. They have that line blocked off. Everybody here is stopping here right now. I see a whole bunch of vehicles pulled off on the road. I think you calling 2055, I can't tell if these are troops or not. There's a van, there's a Ford, there's another vehicle. Okay, so no, there is police presence here right now, but I cannot see them. Okay, I'll also stop here because this is one way. Let me see if I can find a spot to pull off. The issue right now, though, is there's nothing for me to be. I can't see anything at this point. It's too dark out. Is the problem. So I'm just letting everybody here go by. We got a police car. Sorry, I need to move. All right, let me move. Get out of the way of this cop. Let him by. Let these cops by right now. All right, okay. So I just had 2 police behind me. Just had to let them by on a 1-lane bridge. That's me honking at somebody else who's blocking their way.
Matt, I'm going to interrupt you for one. I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second just to give everybody an update. So I just went up to the state police to ask their opinion on if lighting the area up with our equipment, which we have some high power lighting, would be a good or bad idea. And they asked us, they said, we can't tell you not to, but please don't. So we're not going to, obviously, we don't want to impede in anything. So the vision here, I mean, the visuals are going to be a little dark, but we're not going to light it up because the state police have asked us, they would prefer us not to light it up. So we're not going to light up the woods here. Even last night, we would have been able to light it up, but given the new circumstances, it's very unlikely. I mean, these guys just told me they would rather us not do it, so we're going to respect their wishes. But we're going to stay here, obviously, in case something develops. But that's our goal. We want to make sure that we ask the officers before we do anything. We don't want to light it up and blind them or light it up and scare the perp away. So
Nick, I just had 5 police cruisers pass by me right now. 6, 7.
coming my way?
What? No, going towards Creek Road right now. So something's happening at Creek Road. They're probably trying to establish a tighter perimeter there. But I just had a lot of police vehicles go by me and go that way.
All right, Matt. So why don't you give me a call when something develops? I'm gonna work to find stuff out, and I want to chat with everybody here and make sure that they're all on the same page and that they know what's.
9, 10. I'm giving a count. Sorry, something's happening. Big's happening. All the police presence that was in the areas just went by me right now. They're all going across the bridge, across the Brandywine River Bridge. So.
Okay.
All right.
Give me a call if something develops. If you see anything important, give me a call. And we'll go from there. I'm going to get back to these guys over here to make sure that they're up to speed. And I want to kind of let them know what we're doing and what our approach is. All right. Thanks.
Good deal.
All right. Talk to you. Bye.
Not now.
All right. So let me check. I do have the brick. So what we are doing is we're at the scene here on I'm sorry, I wasn't by the phone. I was setting up the lights, but then I figured before I turn them on, I better ask the officers. I probably should have asked them before I assembled them, but I was just double checking. Anyway, so a couple of minutes ago, I went over to the state police and spoke with them for a second. And as I was approaching, the female officer was very vigilant and alert and said she obviously put this, the flashlight on to make sure I wasn't the perp or some nosy resident or bounty hunter. And it seems that the shift changed. I thought I was walking up to the same guy as earlier, the one that we spoke with. And if you guys were here from the beginning, you heard him. He was a great guy. So I approached it like that. This guy's also great, but it wasn't him. So he didn't, it was very dark as I approached him, so I couldn't see the face. And then I looked close and saw it was a shift change. So I asked if we can light the place up, and they said they'd rather us not do that. They don't want any additional lights or anything. So we're going to respect that, obviously. They said that they can't tell us no, but we're going to listen when they say not to do it. The goal here is to catch the guy, not to scare him off, and you never know where he'll pop out of, you know. So no, we're not moving. I'm good. We're all right here. We're just not going to light it up. When I say light it up, I mean we have some very high powered, you guys might have seen them coming on and off. We have 4 very high powered lights that would essentially light up this entire wooded area, and it would be daylight at the wooded area. We can make it into daylight, but that is not going to happen because officers asked us not to do it. And that's the difference between us and some other networks. At times, like the press can light stuff up, and it's disrespectful if you don't ask for permission. In a case like this, in an investigation, in a manhunt, you want to make sure that you're not getting in the way of law enforcement. And the goal here is to get the guy. Now, these lights are so powerful that they would probably shine through most of these trees. So if he is in those woods, he's going to run the opposite way, and they want him to come. I don't know what their strategy is. They just said it would be, if you can please not do it. So we're not going to do it. Cops are flagged down at the, I don't know. I'm not going to read any more of these comments because there's no confirmation on them, and I don't want to lead people to believe something. So unless I hear it myself from either one of my sources or on the radio, I'm not going to say in custody. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to say he's been spotted or running. That's just not happening. So these lights will, it'll be broad daylight here. So it would make this intersection look like an airport runway lit up. I mean, it's very, these lights are powerful, and they go a long way. So we're not going to use them. Obviously, we don't want to impede on the investigation. That's why I've been away for so long. The lights are so massive. Setting them up took some time. Looking back, I probably should have checked in with them first anyway. But nevertheless, we are at, there's Parkersville. So that guy right there has to stop. And see, I don't know if that's a canine dog or if that's a, you guys hear that? I don't know if that's a canine dog or what, but we're not here to impede or intrude. We're just here to show you guys what's going on as close as we can get without being asked to move back, like other networks that were in the immediate area of the search. In that case, you have to pack up, try to find a new spot, set up, and start over. And that's just going to take another 30 minutes, and a lot can happen in 30 minutes. So it looks like we're going to be stationed here until either they catch him or probably closer to 1 or when it settles down. We'll be here for quite some time. So I'm on, let me double check the intersection. Once again, I have no new information. I'm gonna check, let me, one sec. All right, guys, so I have no updates personally. The last thing I said was, are you guys on to him? And then I just said, update, question mark. And I sent him, are you guys on to him, about 20 minutes ago, and he didn't respond. So something is obviously fluid. He's very quick to respond when nothing is happening. But when something is going down, he's very quick to let me, or I mean, if nothing is going down, he's very quick to let me know. If something is going down, it takes him a little bit of time unless he's able to send me a quick memo like he did earlier where he said that sighting, and that sighting came from the command center. So it's not like something that was a rumor that came straight from there. So I haven't heard anything from him as far as them being close to him or on his tail. He's definitely not captured at this point. We'll find out if he is captured. You guys will be among the first to know. I don't know how somebody else would beat us to it. We have a direct link in the command center unless it goes through the scanner and you guys hear it. The command center is at Pomarlin Fire Department, and I am located at Pocopson Driver Road. I don't have the map in front of me. And okay, so here's the update. I said anything. He said nope. And that just came in at 8:19 p.m. I said, are you getting close? And then at 7:39, I said, are you getting close? At 8:17, I said, anything. At 8:19, he said, nope. They do not seem to have something. They are following a lead, but there is no update other than what he told me. The last thing that he told me was the sighting Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House, and that was at 7:22. It is now 8:19. So about an hour ago is when he told me about that sighting, and I responded from 7:36 to 7:38. I asked 3 times, captured. You guys let me know it was a rumor and a troll. So he said no. So at 7:39, I said, "Are you getting close? Anything? Nope. Are you getting close? Anything? Nope." So that's what we have so far, is that they are searching, but they have nothing yet. So let's see if we can pull up the scanner for you guys as we're here, so you guys can hear what's going on. Is there a certain one we should filter? I'm guessing it's the patch 65149. Is that what we should filter? The patch 65. Okay, so let's do that first, just to make sure we're not listening to everybody. 65149. 65. So I'm checking. 1 second, guys. I'm filtering this out for you. So I'm going to be playing the dispatches that came in from 8:20 until now.
6541. 91 day before. Unit 6541. Unit 6541, guys. 6541. Myself and 91, David 4 and 14. We're going to be clearing a barn at 2401 Burns Bridge Road. Proceed you, 91 David 4 and 91 David 14 at a barn at 2140 Burns Bridge.
Now, just to give you guys some perspective, we passed that barn on the way to this location. It's not that far back. It's actually rather close. It caught my attention. It was massive. It was very large. It looked like an airplane hangar, a very large red barn. I mean, it looked insane. One of the largest barns that I've seen. I'm not from an area that has barns. My neighbor has a barn, but it's nowhere the size of this. This barn looks like a house. So it's a very large barn, and we passed it, and we also passed the train tracks, which now we are regretting not covering the live stream on our way here. But nevertheless, here is the rest of the updates that came in since 8:20 from the radio.
6541. Myself and 91 David 4 and 14. We're going to be clearing a barn at 2401 Burns Bridge Road. Proceed you, 91 David 4 and 91 David 14 at a barn at 2140 Burns Bridge. 6541. That's going to be 2401. 2401. Receive 2401. 2401. Correction. That's going to be 2400. 2400. Okay, 2400 Burton's Bridge Road. Affirmative.
Now look how dark it is, just to give you guys an idea. You guys see that? That's what we see. It's not the screen or anything. That's exactly what we see, is that darkness around us. And as I showed you guys earlier, I'll show you again. We had that monitor, and the monitor is also, it shows just how dark it is behind us. You can't even see. It's literally pitch black. So we have no lighting in either way. There are no street lights, which is important to note. There are no street lights here. So yeah, the area is pitch black with the exception of the police lights. And those are on for the safety of for traffic. If they don't have those on, and you've seen cars flying down the road, and the police had to flash their flashlights and strobe them because they were going so quick, and that's with police lights. So if they had them off, there could easily be an accident. So the police have their lights activated here to avoid the accident, and also it shows that this is really the entrance to the perimeter that's been established in the area. Now, this could be a repeat of the last night, the same thing that happened last night where we saw some immense action and then nothing came to fruition. So right now we are on Poke Hobson and Parkerville. Poke Hobson and Parkerville. No, I'm not packing. But so we're on Poke Hobson and Parkerville. We're not too far. If let me check that address of the barn to see how far it is from here. Poke Hobson. Let me check the repeat.
That's going to be 2400. 2400. Okay, 2400 versus Bridge Road. Affirmative.
So we are 1.1 miles away. So this is us, and this is where they are. So we're not too far. We're exactly a mile. And yesterday we were actually just about maybe a little bit under a mile away, and you guys were able to see a lot of activity. But the activity, again, it didn't come to fruition. There was no apprehension, and they lost him. And today they've released ring footage in the area of Longwood Gardens. I'm not privy to the exact location. As soon as I woke up, I headed here, and I was looking for updates from law enforcement as to if they're onto anything and where I should go to stage. And they said that there's activity basically all over. But right now, the activity is within this 1 mile radius that we are in. So a mile behind us is that barn. And let's see how far it is to walk here. And then you can compare it to running, because this guy is obviously going to be running, and he's very fast if he's able to elude these guys for this long. It's a 20-minute or 27-minute walk. So if he's running, it would be a little bit faster than that. So we're about a 27-minute walk. I wish they had run, but there's not. Now, if he was on a bicycle, he would get here in 8 minutes. So I don't know how fast he runs, but if he was on a bicycle, he'd get here in 8 minutes. So we're not too far from where it's going on. Well, yeah, no, he's not taking roads. He's going through the woods. So let me check. See, I'm not sure if we are north or south. We are at that intersection of Poke Hobson and Parkville. So if somebody wants to pull that up and check out where we are, that would be great. I don't want to do too much on the other phone just to keep the battery going as that one charges. This one is also staying on. We want to keep the feed continuous for you guys. So there are 2 troopers here, and earlier you guys saw CERT come flying around the bend and gunning it down this road at a high rate of speed, a very high rate of speed, and several troopers, local law enforcement, I suspect marshals, they drove by. So they are onto something, just as they were yesterday. And yesterday's sightings cannot be discounted. They were pretty credible. It came from multiple residents and an officer. See, that's something you're gonna have to check. The ring footage is the last confirmed sighting, I believe, other than this. Let me see the text again and see if that was a confirmed. So all I was told at 7:22 was sighting Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House. I'm gonna ask, was that a confirmed sighting? And what the last confirmed sighting is, so we can see what law enforcement is at least taking serious as far as sightings. Because the radio traffic that we hear, you're not going to hear from the tactical channels and whatnot. So we don't know for a fact that the sightings around are confirmed. Hopefully he lets me know if it's a confirmed sighting. And if it is, you guys are going to find out right away. I just texted him that a minute ago. So we'll see what he says. There's no radio traffic right now. We do have it on, waiting for something. So there's no radio traffic. Let's take the monitor down. So yeah, guys, there have been sightings from here to Maine, and we went through.
The owner of the barn is arriving in a red Prius. He's en route up the road.
The owner of the barn is arriving in a red Prius. Okay, so there was a confirmed sighting. Now, this is from a law enforcement source. I said at 8:30, was that a confirmed sighting? What is the last confirmed sighting? He says Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House. Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House is a confirmed sighting. That's not a suspect. It's a confirmed sighting. That comes from the command center. So there is a confirmed sighting at Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House, and that was at 7:22 around. So about 1 hour ago. Somebody sent me a DM with the, let me check. So the confirmed sighting was the Creek Road and between 926 and Meeting House. That's a confirmed sighting. We've been spot on, so I'm not going to prove anything to anybody. If you guys don't believe it, that's fine. Anyway, we're going to continue the coverage here. We're waiting for any updates that come in. And that's what I mean. So you got, for the Fox 29 being moved, had we gone there, it would have happened to us. So it would have taken us 30 minutes to unpack, pack, and come back. And that takes time. So it wasn't worth going, especially when you have a fluid something like this. If there is something going on, they're not going to let the media stand in the middle of the road or even close by. They might let them watch a canvas if they're canvassing neighborhoods. But if they're onto a suspect, the public and the media and even residents are going to be told to stay inside. They're not going to let people park and film and walk up. That's just not going to happen. It doesn't matter who you are. And that's why we didn't move from here. I mean, I know from experience that if we got closer and it turned into something, we would have to move, and they might not have let us come back down this way. They might have sent us the other way, and then we wouldn't be able to get back to this area. We wouldn't be able to get onto that road right there, period. It's still shut down in both directions, leading all the way to Lenape Drive or Lenape Road, where we were last night. So we're staying here, and we're going to stay here for the remainder of the night unless something there's nothing that can really make us move, because we can't get involved with law enforcement. So this is as close as we can get to the the area. So we have a map that somebody sent. Let me check this. So I can show you guys. Use your face. Download that. So I'm downloading the app Google Earth, so that way the map shows better. So we are on Poke Hobson and Parkersville. We're pretty much as close as you can, I imagine you can get at this point if people are moving from the other area. Somebody said they cleared the barn. See, that's why I don't like clicking. I don't like clicking apps. I didn't hear the barn being cleared. Let's double check.
Can you and the other units on Trailer Mill relocate to Creek Road between 926 and Route 1 and just start filling in the gaps there, shut it down?
So you guys see that. So they just asked them.
So they don't want any more units on Chandler?
To go to the area. Let's play that again.
Can you and the other units on Trailer Mill relocate to Creek Road between 926 and Route 1 and just start filling in the gaps there, shut it down?
So you guys see that right there. So that Creek Road and 926, which is what my law enforcement source had said, and now you heard it on the scanner. So it's in that general vicinity. So we're going to keep going. There's 2 dispatches right after that, but they're very short.
So they don't want any more units on Chandler? Affirmative, you can clear Chandler. Copy on clear Chandler.
They cleared it 2 minutes ago. It's 8:36 right now, and they cleared that at 8:34. And I'm gonna let my source know where we are, so he gives us a heads up just in case they come this way. So let me pull up that Google map for you guys to look at to show you where we are in comparison to. It's still downloading. The reception is not the greatest. So as that downloads, we're still waiting for any updates on the scanner. We have it.
Copy on clear Chandler.
So yeah, I mean, my source isn't a janitor at the local high school, so yes. Text to my phone aren't going to work. You're gonna have to text Hong. The image is, if it's not moving, you can probably refresh the feed. When I zoom in, it's just pixelated. So we don't want to have a pixelated screen. And yesterday, as you guys noticed, I was able to approach the that they are very vigilant right now with anybody that approaches. So the confirmed sighting is, again, I'll say it again for those of you guys that just got here, between on Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House. So I'm trying to get some clarity on what this is showing before I show you guys. It's just a map. So this is a I'm trying to find our location. And sorry guys, the app is taking forever to download. So we're still trying to find out more. The latest is that there really is no update, but they had a sighting. So blue to the left is me. Okay, so let me put it on do not disturb so somebody's number doesn't pop up. We are PA 926 in Creek Road. So all right guys, so put it in a little perspective. We're the blue dot. Let me put it in theater mode so I don't see the comments because I can't see. So we are, and if you guys can't see because of the comments, go to the bottom 3 dots and click theater mode. So this blue dot right here is us, and the sightings are right there. So PA 926 in Creek Road between let me see if I can, I'm sorry, let me get the exact again. I don't want to mess anything up. So the last confirmed sighting is 920 between 926 and Meeting House. Let me ask him if this is on the map. On this map. So I'm gonna I want to show you guys the on the right. Okay, so let me see. All right, guys. So we are the blue. The 926 and Creek Road is to your right. The other two are in the middle. I'll find out if that's true. So that's what we have so far is the last confirmed sighting was between 926 and Meeting House Road on or between 926 and Meeting House on Creek Road. Okay, here, this is a better map. So this map is more detailed. Thanks for sending it in. So again, here's where we are is the blue. Let me turn the comments off so I can see this again. So we're the blue. We're right. I can't even see my finger. It's so dark. We're right here. And you guys can see the labels. So, I mean, that's an interesting sighting line. It does look like he's making moves. Either, so the confirmed the crickets, just to put it, you guys can understand how quiet it is out here. As you guys can see, all you can hear are crickets. So if he's moving through the woods, it's so quiet that the slightest branch crackling will be heard. The guy is very, very quick at evading capture. Uh, Somehow he keeps managing to get away. They might catch him tonight. They might not. That's up in the air, because we were confident yesterday that they were onto him, and we can't say they weren't. The amount of tips that came in, it sounds like they were onto him, and they scared him out of the perimeter, which somehow shows that the perimeter wasn't as tight as we thought, but it was pretty tight. You guys saw it in real time. You saw the amount of officers that were stationed around. The possibility of him escaping would have been when they were responding and flying up the road. Perhaps he ran across Lenape after the police cars flew by. I'm not sure if there's one there, but there is one right here by the police car to our left. There is a storm drain. So this time, I don't think we're going to be able to approach that. We didn't expect a sighting when we set up here. We were just showing you guys that there's a perimeter set. We weren't expecting action. So we were going to approach it. The other officer would have likely let us just give you guys a quick visual of the storm drain. Right now, that's not going to happen because this just went, again, from 0 to 100, as you guys saw yesterday. Then it can go from 100 to 0 again. But this area is this post is much different than the one I was at last night. It's a little bit more strict. And it's obviously very active. They don't want me to approach a storm drain where he can potentially pop out of. Until they get CERT back in, it's going to be very fluid, and they're going to be on high alert. Once CERT is called back, they become a little bit more laxed on what we can do. I don't see these officers letting us get a shot of that, which is fine. I mean, they're just doing their job. And this storm drain is a little bit different than the rest because this one is actually right where the police cars are. And we have a bunch of cars coming right now. These are all law enforcement officials. This is state police driving by. So they're making a left onto Parkersville Road. So let me pull up a map and show you guys the direction they're heading from where we are. So let me see if I can get it to, I want to show you guys which direction they're heading. Just that, because when you undo that, you have to, did you already take that out? Okay. So I'm going to show you guys where we are and where they just went towards. So this is us right here. So the officers, let me turn off the comments because I can't see what I'm doing. Well, that's weird. Hold on, make sure. Okay, yeah, that is. So this is us. The officers just drove by and went left. So they're heading this way. And where we were stationed yesterday was right here. So we were right here yesterday at this, I guess, literally right where it says 52. That's where we were yesterday. So if we had made a left and come up all the way to here, that's where we are now. So the perimeter, as far as roads go, it's pretty lock the north. All right, my coordinates, if that's easier for you guys, I'll give that to you right now. Pull up Google Maps, or I'm sorry, Apple Maps. So here's our coordinates. So from the sighting, let's see, from here to, let's put Creek Road. So let me play the latest dispatch, or dispatch, because they're saying that there's been
6-1 Sam 1. We recovered a trail cam to the rear of 357 Chandler Road prior to exiting here. Can you advise the state police and see what they want to do with it? Here's 6-1 Sam 1, okay. Here's 6-1 Sam 1, confirming you actually have the camera. I have the camera in my possession in front of 357 Chandler. Okay, just bring it to the CPO in your hand. All right.
and from that address, we're only a 3-minute drive. Now from the Creek Road address, we are, let me double check. Yeah, if somebody else wants to check, here's my coordinates again, because I'm trying to make sure I keep up with text messages. So here's where we are. Once more, the trail cam was picked up 3 minutes away from us. Again, that's our location. And the trail cam came in for 3 minutes away from us. If somebody wants to look how far we are from the Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House and send me a screenshot or just say it up here, that would be great. So the situation is still fluid, and I said this last night too because it was fluid. They were flying around and they assembled CERT and he managed to get away.
Camera in my possession.
Okay, it was a replay, sorry.
6271. I'll be in the area. Check with the subject. Unit 6271. Unit 6271 status. 715. Still checking the area. I'll let you know if I'm crossing it.
So the trooper is on foot. You guys see that? And it looks like he's above the storm drain again. We saw that yesterday. You see how the trooper is above the storm drain? So the trooper is checking by the storm drain. We would go as close as we can, but this is where they originally asked us to post up, and the fact that we can't even light it up, I'm not going to ask if we can get closer. It looks like there's that's just a car coming. I thought it was a flashlight, but right now this is as close as we can get to at least that intersection. If we were to turn around and go try to get closer, we might get locked out of this perimeter. I'm not sure what close can be. Last night we assumed we were close, which apparently we were, but he wound up getting down to this neighborhood or to Longwood Gardens. So there is no need to go to these spots where they have cited him. So we're going to keep the scanner going.
62 call forward, command. Yeah, 60 call forward. Call 4, I'll be clear Chandler Road. Yeah, 60 call forward, okay.
So we still hear the choppers. I'm not sure if that's a news chopper, but we still hear the choppers. Keep that light just in case. Okay. So we're going to keep one spotlight ready just in case something goes down. So we can, if they have guns drawn on the guy and something happens, we'll be able to light it up. At that point, I'm sure they'll want some lights. You can see the trooper checking with a flashlight again in the creek. And that's why these storm drains are very oddly a point of interest for these guys. And they have been. There's two troopers walking over there. So we're going to leave one spotlight ready to rock and roll just in case. Now, the one spotlight will be able to light up essentially this entire area. It'll light up that whole field and behind the police car. It's a very... I did not say anything about guns drawn on him. The troopers do have their rifles, which is, we've been seeing that since the outset of this investigation.
We're clear 2400 Bridge Bridge. And how David for it.
So we're waiting for any updates. And if they're getting closer to the active scene or any scene that has activity, that's good for them. But we're not going to do that. I mean, we've been here for several days. A lot of the troopers know us at this point. They recognize us from the amount of spots we've been at and for the amount of time. We're not going to go any closer. or move our location. Obviously, we've been running circles around the media covering this, no disrespect to them. So now I'm sure they're getting a little bit desperate and trying to get a shot that would trump any other coverage. So we're not moving. We're not desperate for coverage. At this point, all the networks are pretty desperate to get something other than a little canvas here and there. So that's fine. If they want to get closer, they can go ahead. And feel free to go to, I'm not saying don't watch them. Also watch them, because you never know. Something might pop off on that stream that you can let us know about. It's good to watch every stream, but we're not in any desperate need of getting content. We've been very thorough in the past 5 or 6 days with the coverage, so we're not too concerned about trumping anybody. A lot of the outlets are here primarily because of you guys on social media coming at them so hard for not covering this. So it went from 0 to 100 pretty quick with the media, and it was because of them receiving hundreds or even maybe over 1,000 tweets saying that you guys are sleeping on a story that matters to our community and it affects us personally, and we want to know what's going on. So we're not too concerned about getting closer to the scene. We are at an active, this is considered an active scene. We cannot come in from that road. We can't come down Parkersville, period. If we want to leave, they'll let us leave, but then they'll push us out of the perimeter and make us park out of the perimeter. There's no way to come back to this section right now unless you're a resident. The road is closed in both ends from here down and the side streets. So we're good here. Good question. Let me check about the ring. Let me see if I have the email from the police. Just checking my emails real quick to see if I have anything that came in. We still have this scanner on, waiting for any updates.
We're clear 2400 Bridge.
That's just a replay. So there hasn't been anything since 9 o'clock. So I don't have access to my email from his phone. Let me check the Chester County District Attorney's page for the sighting this morning. So it looks like trail cams that they captured him on. And these are the photos, for those of you that didn't see them. That was him. So it looks like a trail cam. Let me send out a text and see if there's anything. I'm asking, are you guys onto him or unsure or 50-50? Think it's a better chance than last night. I'm asking, that's what I asked him to find out if they think that this is, if they have a better chance tonight than they did last night. So we know.
60440, I'll be clear of Chandler as well. I'll be around to get fuel. 60440, okay.
So they are clear still of Chandler. That was another officer that just said that at 9:05, and it's 9:05 right now. And let me show you guys again how dark it is here, so you guys can get a better understanding of the conditions that the prison or the police are also dealing with. So give me a second, I'm trying to rotate. So it's pitch black. Make sure we're zoomed out. It's pitch black. Literally pitch black. There is, all you can see, like we have our fog lights on and it's providing little to nothing, but we just have them on for safety. So it's, and there's a helicopter. Let me see if I can get that for you. Right there. If you guys see that, there's a helicopter, 2 helicopters. That's that. Are they both news choppers? There's 2 of them. Are they both news choppers? I'm showing you guys the darkness. So that's how dark it is on this road. And that's the same as it is just about on every road around here. So there's 2 helicopters above us. It's definitely not a drone. It's too large. I mean, the darkness, you can see it for yourself. I mean, it's right there is that, and it literally goes into that. So the neighborhood itself is also dark. There are no street lights. If you guys want me to walk you through the neighborhood right here, I can go into the development right here to our immediate right, just to show you the darkness. That's fine, but they're really, let's go right over here so you guys can see. So that's the, let me try to make sure it's, so we are at, see, it's so dark you can't even focus around here. Like the focus isn't working. So this is a little development, and you can see, you can't even see the lights flashing right here. You see the police car, and here's one of the neighborhoods. I mean, it's an area that has no street lights. So if you're walking down this road, you're not going to see much at all. And let me see if I can light it up a little bit for you guys with a lantern at least, so you guys can get a better idea of how dark we're talking. You know, like you can hardly, it won't focus because of how dark it is. Make sure I'm not zoomed in. So yeah, I'm all the way zoomed out, and we can't even get the tree to light up. So you guys can see that the stop sign illuminates, but if I turn this off, it's not. It makes it. I guess you can still see the stop. Oh, that's because of the fog lights. So now I'm pointing this lantern directly towards the woods, and you can't see anything. So that's how dark it is out here. Let me just put this. Over here so we don't get hit by a car. This wouldn't be a bad idea. So again, it's dark, very dark, and that shows this is rural Pennsylvania. It's normal for an area like this.
You want to pull too? Okay. Yeah, we're swing over to Birmingham Road, Meeting House Road, just keep people from coming down Meeting House towards Creek Road.
So they're still focused on Meeting House and Creek Road, which is what I was told at, let me check the time. I think it was close to 7:20. I'm going to double check. But they're focused on that Creek Road and Meeting House. So at 7:22, it's now 9:12. At 7:22, I received a text from a law enforcement source that said that there was a sighting Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House. And then I responded with, "Are you getting close?" And then I said, "Anything?" And he said, "No." Was that a confirmed sighting? What was the last confirmed sighting? Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House. And you guys just heard on the scanner that they want that area to have no traffic coming down. And keep in mind that if the tactical team sees something, or if CERT, they're not going to say it over this radio. They have their own channel. No, I don't think they'll go on a countywide lockdown. I don't think they'll really, I wouldn't call any of this a lockdown. I'm not sure if residents are able to leave the area. That's a good question. And that's why I'm showing how dark it is. I mean, it's a lot of people watching aren't, a lot of them are from Chester County, but then we have a lot of people from other areas and other states, cities, countries that are watching. So they have street lights, and when they see neighborhoods without them, I mean, it's not something that they usually see. So to them, this is new, and it helps them understand why it's so difficult to um, search the area without lights. But they don't want to use, obviously, lighting in the woods as they're searching, because he'll keep running further out. And as I was talking with an officer earlier who pulled up next to the stream. I'm not sure if you guys overheard it, but even he said it's a very tough situation. They're doing the best they can, but it's a very hard mission. It's hard for the public and us to understand how difficult it is unless we are law enforcement, which maybe some of you are, and you guys can chime in. But it's a difficult mission to find somebody in an area like this. Even, I mean, you would need like the military to come down to sweep these woods if you want to do a full sweep. And it's important to find out how he got out of jail. I can't emphasize this enough. How did he break out? Because is he that athletic? Is he? We don't know anything about him. We don't know anything. Is he able to climb like that? They definitely know how he got out. It's under investigation, as the DA said, which is twofold. As I've been explaining over the weekend, it can either mean that she's investigating the prison for how they handled the escape, or they are embarrassed. I mean, it's either or, but either way, they haven't disclosed how he got out, which is important, because if he's able to climb. Okay, so scaled. So the roof is 100%. We told you guys about the roof on Friday. I want to say it was Friday, maybe even Thursday. I tweeted about the roof. So I said about the roof on Thursday, and if you remember, another reporter at the press conference asked, "Did he have a ladder?" And well, let me rewind. The first question is, did he escape from the roof? And they couldn't confirm or deny how he escaped. The second question is, did he use a ladder? No, he did not use a ladder. So that was a slick question about the ladder, because she denied the ladder, but couldn't talk about the roof. So that's, as far as we know, it was the, well, even if, anyway, the point here is we need to know how he got out officially. We don't need to hear news reports or other information, and we just need to know from authorities how he got out. And if he's able to scale a wall, obviously he can climb a tree, I would assume. He's a smaller guy. I'm not sure his abilities. I mean, he can look like a scrawny guy, but he might be able to do some pretty wild stunts when it comes to climbing and jumping and running. Because if you think about it, he was seen on Wawasset Road, which is, if you exit the prison, you make a right and you go down that road, and you will see it's a little bit further down, and that's where he was seen. And then he went from there all the way back by the prison and down to the gas station. And then he went from the gas station to Water Glen. So he went away from the prison to the right, then came back towards the prison to go to the gas station, and then came back from the gas station towards the prison to go to Water Glen. It's a very bizarre move for somebody that's on the run, unless he is truly lost. I mean, as far as we know, this guy thinks that he's in New York City somewhere in a suburb and he got away. I don't think he knows that he is still, I mean, I'm not going to say what he knows, but I'm saying what he might be lost. He might think he's getting far, but he's really going in circles. These are some massive wooded areas with a lot of brush. And if he's going through the woods, he might be going in circles unwittingly. I highly doubt that he wanted to get away from prison, take one direction and then go back towards the prison unknowingly, hit a gas station, and then go through the woods and wind up in Glenwater, whatever the Water Glen Drive. So he basically made a U-turn, and I don't think he did that on purpose. He's not going to come back to the towards the prison. He's trying to get away from the prison. So he might be lost where he thinks he's getting far, but he's not. Now, I don't know if he knows where Longwood Gardens is. I don't know if he's privy to how far that is from the prison. But maybe he doesn't know that he's been in the same few mile radius since Thursday. Yeah, exactly. He might think that he got away somewhere far and that they're just following him. I don't think he understands that he's still very close to the prison. Does anybody know that? Did he live around here at the time? That's something I guess Grizzly, she covered the background on the actual case. I did not cover any of that. I'm only covering the manhunt. So I'm not sure exactly where he lived. No, I believe so he lived in Phoenixville. So he might not know this area. And for all he knows, he got away somewhere and the police are still following him or something. He would be an idiot to just keep going in a circle around the prison unless he's waiting for a ride to pick him up. Yeah, the scanner is on. There's been nothing since 9/11. The last thing was at 9/11. The scanner is on. Yeah, he visited. I mean, a lot of people visit Westchester, but they don't get a tour. They don't go on a tour of Chester County, so he might have gone to Westchester. Maybe he went to Longwood Gardens. I personally didn't even know that Longwood Gardens was that close to the prison. And he might be going in a circle without knowing it. Yeah, I mean, his best bet is probably just walk up to the gate of the prison. That would be the best. But I mean, at this point, if he's going to keep circling it, it's probably more comfortable in there than it is in the woods, and it's going to be more comfortable in there than it'll be if he's stuck in. I mean, on the run in this weather. He's not going to get. I don't see him getting away. He's going to get captured. So he's going to end up in prison. I don't understand. The whole situation is pretty bizarre. So they don't have maps. So this is what happened. There was a hand-drawn map. He's been in Chester County Jail, prison, but I'm going to call it jail. It's a county jail. He's been in the county jail since about 2021. So when you're going from the prison or the jail to court and back for years on end, he memorized routes to the courthouse and he was keeping his eyes open for the surrounding area. He saw woods, he saw roads, he saw places around. So he had a general idea of the road leading up to the Chester County Criminal Justice Center, I believe it's called, or the courthouse that's in Westchester. He had that route mapped out. So that leads me to believe that he wanted to avoid that specific route and head more towards a rural section. Because for him to walk towards the courthouse would be bizarre, but I can't say anything is a fact. Obviously, we're just brainstorming about what's going through this guy's head. Nobody knows what's going through this guy's head except him. I don't believe he has many. I don't think he has any connections, and I haven't heard anything about any connections. I know he has ties to the community. They're not relatives, but it's as close to a relative, I guess, as it gets. They're not blood related, but he does have ties to the community. And you guys see it gets quiet and then it gets loud and then it gets quiet and then it gets loud. And this is something that we've been watching for days now. I mean, it gets quiet and it gets loud. So there's now a plane above us. I'm not sure if it's a small plane or an airliner. To check the house, was that at, that was earlier, I believe. Let me check.
Yeah, we're just swing over to Birmingham Road, Meeting House Road, to keep people from coming down Meeting House.
So the last thing we have on the scanner is to check or to keep people away from the Meeting House Road area. I am on, I believe it's called Whitewood Way. Let me double check. I can't see the street sign. It's that dark where I can't even see the street sign that I'm standing next to. So Whitewood Way is where I am, which is right before uh, Parkerville Road. And this spot is exactly, let's see how far it is from here to, again, Lenape and Parkersville, which is where Parkerville where we were yesterday. So from where we were yesterday to here is a 4-minute drive. I'll show you guys, and then I'll show you the walking distance. So we're at the blue and we were at that red check mark last night. You guys see? So we were down at the red check mark last night, and that's where the activity was. That's where the sighting was, where multiple neighbors called. So if I hit walk, and keep in mind he's running, 29-minute walk, maybe a 10 or 15-minute run, depending on how fast the guy is. We have no updates yet. And we're still on the scanner. There hasn't been any activity. And let me follow up. Following up. So it's been almost an hour since I heard from the command center. So I'm wondering if they're onto something or not. You guys saw that last night with the helicopters. They were coming and going because they want to, like, it must be a tactic or a strategy of theirs where they come over a certain area, circle it, and try to maybe wean them out somehow. You have radio traffic? Let's check. I don't have anything. No, so I'm on patch 65149. The last update You guys can see the service here is terrible. Let me double check. Let's see. 9/11 is the last update that we have. One bar on this device, so it's in the middle of nowhere. And we'd have a better shot if the trooper was facing the other way without the headlights pointing at us. That's kind of what's making it a little bit pixelated. So let's see if this helps a little bit, maybe zooming out. No, I'm not seeing that. Is that I'm not seeing that. Is it on the patch? Should I Is that on the patch channel? Because I'm not seeing anything new on the patch. Patch 65149 has nothing new. West Police Dispatch, I'll add that to this. How far is that from here? Add Central and West, okay. West Police Dispatch and Central Police Group. So Central, West, is it West Police Group or is it, okay, West Patch. Let me, I have to refresh it because I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so I'm trying West Police Dispatch and Central. So what we're gonna do is just put it on for all of them until I find. They should let us just type it in. Weird how you have to scroll and look. I'm looking. So they're saying the home secure. I'm still gonna add those channels to this.
For you, the on-call director night. Referencing the PFA.
It's not this. So what we know about the Creek Road is at 7:22, I was told there was a sighting on Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House. That was at 7:22. Since then, they asked the roads to be closed from Meeting House to Creek Road. Again, I don't see anything about shots fired. I'm not seeing any of that. I have them all open at this point. There's nothing. If there were shots fired, this would be a lot more active. I mean, like you guys can see there, this is all of them, and there's nothing. So, nothing. Who keeps saying stuff? Yeah, guys, go ahead and report trolls, so that way we don't have to deal with it. Yeah, there's a lot of trolls. So there's really no update. Just the 7:22. So I'm gonna try to narrow it down a little bit, but I'd rather keep it just in case something happens. No updates in the past hour. So I'm trying to, I'm going to try to narrow this down again to Central. Central. You guys. I'm going to text one of you guys just so I can get the right scanner. That is something that I asked, and I'm waiting for a response. Usually he's fast to respond if nothing is going on. So for something to be going on, that's probably why he's not responding. His focus isn't to respond to me. His focus is obviously to, he's on the manhunt, so that's his focus. He's kind enough to just give us a little bit here and there. If anything major comes through, he'll text me, or if there's a dead end in the search, he'll text me. Tonight we'll probably be here till 1, I'm thinking. See, I'm turning it down because those are unrelated. I'm going to try to... Sorry for the silence. I'm just trying to go through and find the right channels to keep up with. Now you see the police have a spotlight on. The police just turned on their... All right, so actually this is something about this. This just came in on Central Dispatch, and the spotlight...
Driveway is 1753. It's inside the perimeter. Do they want us to go up and just check that vacant house and make sure it's secured? Unit 4119, copy your stop. 2 North North Town Pike. Affirmative. Unit 37, call 2. MDC check for a phone assignment. It's going to be the same as your previous 2. If need be, call it.
That's not related, so I'm going to filter...
7544. Here at the driveway with me. I'll take him up. I'll let you know.
All right, I just got a text of how to filter this to the right channels. So West Police Dispatch. So let me get this finally focused. We're waiting for... Sorry guys, I'm just trying to make sure we have the right channels on. So, in the past few minutes, the police officer turned on their spotlight. That's why it's a little bit harder to see what is going on. I guess we'll aim a little bit this way. Did they ask them to light up the perimeter? All right, guys, so I have it filtered. So we're going to play from 9:44 until now. There's been, well, let's do from 9, just to make sure we didn't miss anything, I guess. We'll do from 9:44 to now.
260-11 in the area of 108 Landenberg Road, 108 Landenberg Road for a traffic complaint of a tree down.
blocking both lanes. Callers is advised it's going to be just after the bridge.
614, repeat. Charlie.
Call 4, standby. Unit 4 on 719, your status.
719, okay.
Unit 4 on 719, okay. Yes, it's 5 call 4. Your modulation is quite low. Please repeat your location.
65 out of 1, I'm trying to get that for you.
Unit 08 call 5, copy your PSA at 230 Washington Avenue.
65 call 3, San Juan, I will be clear of 1150 Wiley.
Unit 5 call 3, okay.
65 out of 1, he was with Paul 3 and San Juan. You can clear him also.
Unit 5 out of 1, okay.
Stop.
So yeah, there really isn't any. These are just general, but we have. So we should have. Yeah, Central has a lot of unrelated stuff. Yeah, Central has a bunch of unrelated stuff. And yeah, that's what I was doing is the patch. But people here, the last update from patch was at 9:42. So what I'll do is I'll open one up with patch and I'll open one up with the others and I'll keep the others muted unless something comes up and then I'll play it from there. So I'm going to put just the patch on for you guys so that way we have that. Man, I think Fox 29 has all of their interns on this chat promoting. Again, we don't mind if you guys go there. Definitely watch everything. But interesting amount of tags for Fox. Maybe it's because everybody was tagging Fox 29 over the weekend when we were reporting and asking why they weren't here. So I'm guessing they're doing the same thing. So I really don't mind. Let's see if there's anything on the patch. Well, if Fox 29 has night vision, they should have been here since Thursday when the man escaped. They probably could have helped a lot more than coming in at the end of the coverage. If they catch him, they can't come to the tail end of the coverage and get whatever. I mean, it's bizarre. So if they have the ability to have night vision and all of this, why weren't they here days ago to help the public? This is the problem that we are facing, and we've been talking about this all weekend. If Fox has that kind of stuff, why weren't they here to help? If they have helicopters with night vision and cameras, why weren't they here to help? If they have all of this technology, why weren't they here to help? The county was left in the dark until today? Now they're bringing out night vision. Well, that's great because the guy broke out of the perimeter. If you guys had the night vision, it could have helped. So you should have used I don't mind if people leave or go to Fox. I don't have anything against them, but it's bizarre that they have this technology and they're not using it, but they'll use it for a live shot or a county fair, or they'll use it for some bizarre situation, but here we have a manhunt with a convicted murderer. An entire county is affected and scared at night. You have residents now in Delaware scared, and you have now people saying that they have night vision. Well, that's great. You guys are about 5 days late with your night vision. You should have been here 5 or 6 days ago with the night vision. You guys should have been here 5 or 6 days ago with the helicopters. When we got here on Saturday or Friday, There was nobody here. And everybody that was here was at the press conference just repeating what the DA said and spoon feeding the public with no updates. If they have technology, they should be able to be, they should use it. And that's the problem with, that's why there's a lack of trust with a lot of media networks and the public, because they're about numbers. So now they want to get him with night vision because the world is watching. So they want to show a little picture of him possibly. They want to show off. They have the helicopters here. Where were these resources days ago? We're about to enter a full week of this guy being on the loose, and you're going to bring in your resources at the end. It's either they're very cheap or they want the numbers. I'm not saying don't get involved. Obviously, the more people here, the better. The more angles, the better. Residents want to see as many angles as they can get. But when you have resources and you just say, we're going to hold off on this until it blows up, or somebody gets killed again, or if there's a hostage, or if he kills a kid, or if he, God forbid, breaks into a home and commits a sex crime, then we'll cover it, because then we can say that this guy actually is acting on it. That's bizarre. If they have the technology that people are saying they have, it would have been very helpful to be here from day one, not to get live shots from the sky and air it the next day or air it for 5 minutes. They should be providing that night vision to the authorities. So at the end of the day, it's about the people that are directly affected by this. Obviously, we don't have the capability to have night vision. We have a drone, but we're not going to fly it without permission, and we haven't been given permission. So at the end of the day, if you have the resources, you should be using them. I think they forgot why they got involved in the business, which is to inform the public of stuff they need to know and understand. They since changed their tune. I'm not talking about Fox. I'm talking about everybody that showed up to the bandwagon 6 days later. If they're going to show up 6 days later, it's bizarre that people here need to know what's going on. And great, if they have the technology, use it and show them. But yesterday, the helicopters were out. The footage, I'm not sure if it aired today, but at the end of the day, it's bizarre. And it's not personal. It's just nerve-wracking that the community, and I know this firsthand because today, countless members of the community were pulling over to walk up to us and talk to us about how we've been able to help them sleep just by showing these simple shots. If you have the platform, like a national network or even a local network or a city network, they should be able to use that platform for what they got in the business for. I mean, their mission is to inform the public, not to get numbers. People in Chester County have no idea what's going on. They live here. They want answers, and they're being spoon-fed from press conferences. There is nobody on the ground. Until today, they're on the ground. Last night, they came by. But today there's a heavy media presence because now they think, oh, maybe they'll catch him or maybe he'll do something desperate. He's been gone for so long. The point is to prevent him from acting again, to prevent him from committing a crime and to apprehend him. And local people, the locals deserve answers. That's what this is about. And nobody's given them the answers. I'm not saying we did. We're just filming, but nobody's given them the answers. And they have resources that could be used, and they're being used for puff stories, for the weirdest coverage. You know, when you have a manhunt in your backyard this close, you should have some kind of coverage going on. But we're going to get off of that topic, and that's not coming from me. That's coming from every resident that walked up to us today. And I'm not saying one or two. Cars were pulling over to the side of the road. Cars were pulling into the shopping center to come and speak with us. People came out of this community that we're in front of to speak with us. They wanted answers and they couldn't find answers. So that's what it is. So I'm on patch. So this just came in, but it's a 4-second clip.
You know, 1-2, call 2, status. All right, we're going to be inside check-in 1753. You know, 1-2, call 2, okay.
Yeah, 3975.
You have the RP on the phone. Total full up in.
So what was the update on
Yeah,
patch?
3975, okay?
What's the update on patch? There is no update on
Yeah,
patch.
2971, cover your stop, 1600 block, Horseshoe Pike.
It's a traffic stop. I like Fox 29. I like the networks. I'm just disappointed at how they handled it. That's about it, and we'll leave it at that. There are no updates on patch. I asked if we can have a light on. Let me see if we turn on the headlights, if it helps. We're gonna see if the headlights help at all, but I don't want to turn on the spotlight. They might think we're competing for spotlights over here. I don't want to, but if he turns on the headlights, maybe we can see a little bit better across the street. Yeah, guys, there's really no update, but what's weird is I haven't heard back from my source since 8:30. So it's been an hour and a half. He didn't go home. He would tell me if he's going home for the night. Let me check the other. Let's see. Just patch.
Yeah, 3814, cover your stop, 3900 block, Woodland Highway.
So these are all traffic stops. So there's really no update on the radio. And again, keep in mind the tactical teams and CERT, they're not going to use the channels that we have access to. All right, so we do have something that just came in at 9:59.
We secured 1753 was out here. We're going up to the next house now. 412 block, okay, 1753 secured.
So that's pretty much, yeah, there's no update on that. I'm waiting to find out from one of the law enforcement sources. They're both not answering, and they're both working here, so there's something active going on. Melly? I'm texting a resident real quick, guys. That's why I'm quiet. One second, guys. I'm hearing some. I'm just responding to residents to check on something. So some residents are saying that they're getting reverse 911 calls in the area that I am. So somebody that lives only a few minutes away from here, 3 minutes or 4 or 5, just said that they've received a reverse 911 call. So I'm gonna find out what it's about. A reverse 911 call is when the county sends out they call all of the residents within a certain area from the 911 center and play a message. Um, they've been to the effect of there's a sighting or stay inside, report suspicious activity in your area. That's what those calls have been. We're on Pocopson and Parkerville, which is Parkerville is where the police officer is, so we're on Pocopson Road. I'm just responding to some residents, guys. Hold on.
While he's not talking, and if the media has better technology cameras and like infrared and stuff, they will and can ask local media or larger media that's come in for the footage to help with
Oh,
searches
cool.
like that.
So the last patch call came in at 9:59, and it was just this.
We secured 1753 with the we're going on to the next house.
So look, that's what I'm waiting to find out.
Thank you for everybody coming in and thank you for everybody that was here last night. I appreciate everybody. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button,
So
subscribe.
it's not a storm drain. I found out it's called a culvert. Culvert. That is what they are concerned about him traveling through. Culvert. Hey, you want me to put you on?
And share, and I'll pull up what a culvert is.
No, but I can put you on. I don't mind. Let me check the text.
day, even if it's a small one. If you put in perspective like that, now imagine being here. You have multiple different agencies who not worked with each other before here, at least at the individual level. And most of them are working in an area they've never been in before. And now you have to coordinate amongst all of them in a fluid situation where you have someone who's moving from block to block at a moment's notice. When I was listening to the scanner and I was driving around, I was hearing that it was pretty apparent they did not have people. They were not able to get officers in place in time to set up a secure perimeter. And that seems like what happened last night as well. By the time they were doing all their sweeps and whatnot, he was already past their perimeter, and he may not even realized it because looking at the cameras, he was first traveling south away from the perimeter and then later traveling again north back towards it, or might have that swapped around. But at one point he was traveling north back towards the perimeter. So it seems to be just an issue of timing. But all I have to say, though, is that this is not something that is easy for the forces here, just because of the logistical nightmare it is to get the people in place they need when they need them in place in time, and to keep civilians away from it, and also, most importantly, to try to restrict areas where they know civilians are at, keep them off people's properties. That's their top priority. So that might shed a little bit of light into why they're having difficulty catching him. Don't know what this perfect situation will be for them to catch him, but I feel like personally he's been cited every day. He does not know this area, so he's going to keep getting cited. It's going to be repeats of this. Eventually something's going to happen, though. So we'll see. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. I'm going to let Nick go as well. So that's all.
Sounds good. All right. Let me know if you hear anything, Matt.
Yep.
All right. Bye. So where Matt is, that was the perimeter last night. That was the area of interest last night. They still have officers in that area, and the same perimeter that we saw last night is still around, but it's much more massive. I mean, it got much larger with a larger presence as far as road closures and troopers at the road closures. I mean, from Baltimore Pike, for many miles on Baltimore Pike, there was the trooper at every single road, either blocking it or sitting on it just to watch for either activity. And if the road was blocked, it was only open to residents. So they did have a lot of, they had a pretty large presence today. But again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes right now. If my source went home, I would have known. And that's when I know that it's pretty much cut for the night. So he's still doing something. He's not by his phone, or he's unable to text. So until I hear back from him, then we'll know. So Matt is a resident of Waterglen, which is where the sightings were repeatedly. That's where two homes were broken into. That's where an apparent ring camera caught the suspect walking through, and that's where police descended on last night. On last night's stream, we had Matt FaceTiming us live from his house, and he showed us the police activity. Now, let me see why they're lighting this road up. I don't know if I'm missing something. Let's check the scanner, people are saying.
Everyone's going. 1755 is checked and secured.
Unit 52, Paul 61.
No, as far as the lights,
Unit 52, Paul 61. In the area of the Route 322 bypass and Phoenixville Pike. Route 322 bypass and Phoenixville Pike. For suspicious condition, there's a male walking the roadway that crossed some northbound lanes of Phoenixville Pike when the car was driving by. Time delay of 5 minutes. 6-1231, status okay. Unit 6-7-531, okay? Unit 52, Paul 61. A Hispanic male with dark hair, gray tank top, carrying a white bag.
so that's interesting. Let's replay that.
1755 is checked and secured. I'm just going to drive up. There's a family that lives at 1757. Just make sure they're okay and then come back out. And you can clear out that call. I want your phone okay.
Let's replay it. Sorry.
1202. We secured 1753 with the owner. We're going on to the next house.
No,
I want your phone okay. 1753 secured. 1202. I want your phone. 1755 is checked and secured. I'm just going to drive up. There's a family that lives at 1757. Just make sure they're okay and then come back out. And you can clear out that call. I want your phone okay.
So I don't know where that other one came from, but I heard something about a suspicious vehicle or person. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That clip, but it's not here anymore. Try it again. That's on Central. Okay. 1 second. I have it on the other one then.
Unit 52, Paul 61. In the area of the Route 322 bypass and Phoenixville Pike. Route 322 bypass and Phoenixville Pike. For suspicious condition, there's a male walking the roadway that crossed some northbound lanes of Phoenixville Pike when the car was driving by. Time delay of 5 minutes. 6-1231, status okay.
So yeah, people that are close by, that seems a little bit. People are saying that's far from here. Yeah, that's a little bit far. People are saying so. And remember, anybody they see, which is good. They're calling the police just to make sure, because you never know what could pan out and what doesn't pan out. It's good to call and make a report just in case. Now, for that call, there was a 5-minute time delay, which means that the caller told the dispatcher that this happened about 5 minutes ago. But that's far, everybody's saying. It's strange. Usually I'll have a text by now to make sure everybody's all right. Let me shoot a text. Because he usually answers somewhat, so especially with that big of a time gap, so I'm just going to make sure everything's all right. That would be great if he rolled up on us. He'd have to come across the street, but that would be something, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's probably a good sign that I didn't hear from him because, generally speaking, he gets back to me rather quickly, usually within, it could be anywhere from 30 minutes or so, but this time I haven't heard from him since 8:30. So we're going on 2 hours now that I haven't heard from him. So that he is, he might be in, he, something's going on. So for him not to respond, because I just asked, "Are you okay?" I'm waiting to hear back to make sure he's all right. I don't mind if he doesn't answer the other questions as long as he gives me a sign that something. But if he doesn't answer my question on "Are you okay?" that means that he's actively in the field and they're searching. He's not like a patrol officer going door to door, so or a state trooper going door to door. So if he's not responding, he's likely in the woods. No, he's not cert, but it's a tactical team. No, the 322 thing is far fetched. I mean, it's always possible. That's the thing. We don't know. But it's unlikely. No, so that's when you hear nothing on the police scanner, that's usual. These guys aren't using a police frequency that any of us have access to. They're using closed channels. The tactical teams are not using um, any of these channels that the public has access to for obvious reasons. So they're on a private channel in the search. There are federal agents here. I don't know when they'll find him. I can't say. I mean, it's been on and off with sightings and whatnot and response and whatnot. So it's it's something we can't even predict. I mean, last night we tried to assure everybody that the perimeter was safe, and he got out. So I'm not gonna. We were wrong. Obviously, he was able to get out of that perimeter. So I'm not 100% sure. Now I'm not sure if this is technically. I'm not from the area, but would this even be considered out of the perimeter? If he's seen in these areas right here, he's back in the original perimeter. That Parkerville Road was the original perimeter. So if he's being spotted around here, these roads have been closed for days now. Since at least Saturday, they've been closed, these roads, that Parkersville road up there. And you guys saw it live all weekend. They've been closed. So if he's in this area still, that's still part of the perimeter. But what wouldn't make sense is I don't get why he went to Longwood and then came back to the perimeter. So no, but Parkerville was closed. We were there yesterday. It was closed. We couldn't come down the road of either way. No, I'm not inside a car. It's because the officer turned on his her spotlight. So with the spotlight on, it's kind of hard to. Parkersville Road, that's been closed for quite some time. Let me check if I have screenshots, but that's been closed for some time now. No, yeah, that's different. I'm saying though, if he is in the area of Parkersville, that's pretty close to the perimeter. Because we weren't able to get on Parkerville from since Creek Road wasn't closed. I'm talking about Parkerville over here. So if he did get out, he didn't go far from the perimeter, and it looks like he came backwards. If he was seen at Longwood Gardens, I believe that this location right here, where he's being spotted, is coming back from Longwood Gardens. Somebody that's local, can you guys chime in? If he was seen at Longwood Gardens and he's being seen on this meeting house in 926, is that him coming back toward the perimeter, or is that him getting away from the perimeter? See, okay, and anybody local, chime in. Let the from where he was spotted yesterday at Water Glen. and then going to Longwood Gardens, and then him being spotted in the area we mentioned earlier, would that be him making a U-turn, coming back to the perimeter? Yeah, so that's what's weird. This guy is, it's either he's lost or he's so we're getting conflicting. At the end of the day, if he was trying to leave the perimeter, he didn't make a straight dash out of it. He's still circling it somehow. Okay, yeah, so that's that, and it makes sense because to, let me see if I can pull up a um, a map. You, maybe. So I got Matt called back, so he can answer the question about the perimeter and Longwood Gardens in relation to where he was spotted again. Here, Matt, you're on.
I can give you definitive reasons as to why he went back.
No, so can you answer? Would this be considered coming back? So him going to Longwood and then being seen here, is that him coming back toward the perimeter?
Are you talking about today or last night?
So I'm talking about today when he was seen at Longwood, and then the sighting tonight at I don't have it off the top of my head. Let me give it.
Creek Road?
Yeah, is that coming back towards the perimeter?
No, Creek Road is heading east. So what it looks like happened
Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House.
Yes, that is east. That is east of the river.
So how about Longwood Garden?
That's all west. That is west of you right now. So right now he initially moved from Water Glen down to where you spot on the camera is south. If you run along 52, that goes south. It crosses 926 at the bridge there. From there, he went further south, looks like, got towards Route 1 and saw that Route 1 area, that's all very wide open. He's been avoiding any of that. He went back. He followed along the woods along 926 area, was going through Kendall, where he was spotted at some point, and kept going east when the whole thing started today. I don't remember the specific road. He was then they were pushing him further east towards my goodness, Picasson Road and the Brandywine River. East of the Brandywine River, which is further east of you, is where Creek Road is. And that's also where I was at earlier when I first got there. So all of that is further east of you. So right now he's heading east. I don't know if they've pushed him back because I don't think there's been any late recent sightings of him besides that one at Creek Road, but that's all east of you.
Okay, and I'm going to add this to the map. All right, that was great. So give me a call if you hear anything, and I'm going to show a map to everybody, okay? All right, thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to show you a map of where he would have gone. Let's see if we can pull it up on this. So 1875. I'm working on pulling up a map for you guys to see. One sec. Getting a map for you guys. Sorry guys, bear with me. I'm looking for the area. Okay, so here's a map of the area, and it is a little bit more detailed. So here is what we have. So if you see the green on the bottom left, that's Longwood Gardens. Let me stop this, the comments for a second so I can. So the bottom left, right here, try to point, but it's dark. That's Longwood. Okay. Water Glen is the purple, which is up here. So yesterday he was spotted here. Today he was spotted this morning at Longwood, which is right here. And then the confirmed sighting is back over here. So he's going in circles, kind of, as you can see. He's not going in a set direction. So either he's terrible with navigating through the woods, or see if we turn it this way, if you guys can see a little better. So you guys see there's Water Glen is the purple, the green is Longwood, and the confirmed sighting, the sightings today at least are in the red, and the confirmed sighting is all the way at the top right. So he's making a weird round. He starts here, he goes here, he comes back to here, and then he's confirmed here. So he's kind of making some weird rounds. And from Lenape Road to Longwood Gardens, as far as walking, it's a 39-minute walk from Lenape Road to Longwood Gardens. It's a 39-minute walk. So if he's running or going, and that's if you're walking on main road, so he's obviously cutting through the forest. So it looks like he's lost. I mean, the way he's moving, it it's bizarre. It's a very, if that's a strategy of his, I guess we'll find out if he manages to slip. But it looks like he's going in circles. The officer, that's another officer. He had his lights on to come around the corner, then he turned them off as he approached us. He's lost the way he's going back, and if he's following the creeks though, why is he circling back in a weird? He could have made it to Delaware by now if he was, so what, did the creek stop and then he stopped and followed it back? Where is he? What is his plan? If he's going from Water Glen and then he's going to Longwood Gardens and then he's coming to, I'll show you again just so you understand. It's a weird route for an escapee who should be, obviously he doesn't know the area. It's a very weird route that he's taking. Let's see. Show you one more time. So he starts at Water Glen, which is purple. He goes to Longwood Gardens, which is green on the bottom left. And then he comes right back up to the top right of your screen. And those are the sightings from today. The one that's confirmed says confirmed, and that was a confirmed sighting. And after my source told me that was a confirmed sighting, I haven't heard from him now for several hours. We're going on 2 hours. And there's a helicopter in the, or a plane. I'm not sure. If you guys have flight radar, you can check. But he's either lost or it's some weird plan. And if he's following the creek, I don't think the creek is going to, I mean, maybe, let's check right now, the creeks, if they're going to lead back to the area from Longwood. So let's go to Longwood Gardens. And as you guys can see here, a lot of these creeks, they start and they finish. So this is from here. Let me put from Lenape. One second, guys. It keeps. So this is actually kind of interesting. So this is what I mean about the storm, or the those, I don't want to get the name of it wrong again. The culvert. So here is a creek that goes from Lenape Road. So I'm going to show you guys. Let me turn off the comments for a second so I can see. So this is where we were last night, and he was spotted somewhere around here. As you can see, there's a creek. And on our first stream, we did say we heard something suspicious in the water, and it wasn't just us. The officer, the trooper, heard something, and he lit it up. It sounded like what could have been either a deer walking in the water or a person. And we were live when it happened, so a lot of you guys that are watching now that were watching then can remember. So this is Lenape Road, and there's a creek a little body of water that goes. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting. So, say he is following this, okay? As you go towards the creek and look at the route to walk, it's the same. So, you're going, but you have to eventually either cross through. Let me zoom out so I can show you. That's a command center. I don't know if it's still active or not, but there was law enforcement presence there. That's the command center that they used to have. So if he takes the wrong part of the creek, which actually explains how he got to the Carco command center. Actually, if this is a theory, but that creek leads to that gas station, which is interesting. That creek goes straight to the gas station, and instead of going that way, he had returned back towards um, Water Glen. So let's go this way now. Maybe he decided he knows that that's a main road, so he could have went and this way, taking this creek up until it ends, and it ends at a community. Okay, so he could have cut through this community at that point, and there's Longwood Gardens. But what doesn't make sense is, let's see if there's another creek that would lead back to the area. So there's a creek here. But let me just show you guys one more time. So that's Lenape right here. And this is the vicinity he was spotted in. So he could have followed this creek, and instead of going this way, maybe he knows that way from Thursday when he made it to Carco, which explains how he made it to Carco. He was probably going through this area, not on a main road. Instead, he cuts this way, and you get to an end of a creek. And that creek ends on, let's see what street. On Valley Road. So, I mean, he could easily have cut through Valley Road and made it to Longwood Gardens. Now, the question is, how the heck did he make it back to here? So let's see from Longwood Gardens to here if there's a creek. So from Longwood Gardens to the last sighting. And let's just give it a general vicinity. Let's figure out this creek. Okay, so they are in the woods. I just got a text from the command center. They are in the woods. He's not telling me what woods. So CERT and tactical forces are in the woods right now, actively searching for the suspect. I just got this update. Let me see the time. It came just now at 10:43. I had sent him many texts asking, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I started texting him at 8:37. It's now 10:43, about 2 hours, and he says in woods. In woods. That's all he says. So they are in the woods. This is a tactical team with CERT. They're not CERT, but they are part of the federal effort in this manhunt. So they are in the woods with CERT. Federal agents are in the woods with CERT right now, and that's very interesting. That's definitely very interesting. So they are in the woods right now. Um, Let me see if I can. Uh, got it. Stay safe. Any idea where about? Not exact, just a general idea. I'm asking him right now. Okay, got it. Stay safe. Any idea where about? Not exact, just a general idea to see if he can give me any information. But they are actively in the woods right now. So that's why you're not hearing anything on the radio. And these teams, they don't use the radio that's public. So they're in the woods. He said can't say. I guess that's for obvious reasons. So they are in the woods. In the woods. And that's 100%. So I changed his name on um the chat for obvious reasons. But just so you guys can understand, custody, is he in custody? Confirmed sighting. Nothing apparently. So then I said confirmed sighting. He says that captured. No. What was the last confirmed sighting? Originally, he said sighting at 7:22, and then I said, was it that a confirmed sighting? What is the last confirmed sighting? And at 8:31, I got that. Still the same. You good? You good? In woods. Not a clue. You working? Yeah. So no. This confirmation is from today at 7:22 p.m. that he was there. So they're in the woods and they're actively looking. So this is very active, but we don't hear it. And that's the same as last night. We didn't hear much from where we were, but then when we FaceTimed Matt, you saw them gearing up, cocking their guns, getting ready and sweeping. And it was a very quiet mission. These guys are trained to be very, very quiet. The last positive confirmed sighting, and a 100% confirmed sighting, was Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House. Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House. That's a confirmed sighting. And then I sent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 texts. And I said, are you good? In woods. Got it. Stay safe. And he didn't answer about where in the woods. And I said, geez, you're still working? He said, yeah. So they're obviously maybe on a little break, but they're in the woods and actively searching for this guy. He would tell me if they're heading back. He would tell me if there's no trail. He would tell me, typically he'll say, I'll show you an example. Let me show you an example of, so last night at 8:40, he was heading in, and that's when it was about an hour after. So these guys come after CERT because CERT is onto a trail. They have a tail on the guy, and then another team, a tactical team, arrives to assist when they have an actual trail. They're not going to waste federal resources to just show up for nothing. So what happened is at 8:40 last night, I said, the 1698 water gun, possible sighting. Is that true? Yeah. Pushing area now. I said, stay, know if you catch him. Nothing new. And by 11 o'clock, honestly, the entire night, he kept saying, nothing new, nothing new, nothing new, nothing new, nothing new. So that's yesterday. And it was all nothing new, nothing new, nothing new, and not looking good. So they pushed, no one found. And he said that at 12:17 a.m., which is, I'm assuming that's when they pulled out of the push. So again, today at 6 o'clock at night, I send him a screenshot that somebody sent me on Twitter saying that 606 Willow Glen tracking footprints with dogs. And at that point, the command center had nothing of value. They had nothing of value. So he had said then at 6:23, there's an apparent sighting in Chandler's Run. So, and there's two troopers here now, as you can see. From there, I said, is it a confirmed sighting, question mark? Is he in custody? No, meaning he's not in custody. Sighting Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House. I said captured 3 times in 3 different texts because I was seeing rumors. He said no. I said, are you getting close? Anything? No. Was that a confirmed sighting? What was the last sighting, the confirmed sighting? Creek Road between 926 and Meeting House. Then I told him where we are. I said, still same, anything about toward the prison. You guys onto him or unsure, 50-50. Think it's a better chance than last night. Then I say, because he hadn't responded, and it was quite some time, I said, was that sighting Creek Road physical or camera? I know you're probably busy. Are you good? That's another message I sent an hour after I said, I know you're probably busy. I said, are you good? He responds at 10:43 in Woods. I said, stay safe. Any idea? Can you give me any information? And he basically said no about where they are. And I said, Jesus, you're still working? And he said, yeah. So they are in there and they're active. And it's very short answers, 2-word answers. Yeah, not a clue. In Woods. So essentially they're still there and it's a very active scene. And then last night you guys saw how quiet it was. And next thing you know, you see the footage from Matt's house, which we showed you. And that footage was them cocking their guns, getting ready. It was a very quiet operation, but it was a very heavy operation. I'm going to ask, was the sighting on camera? Do you know? On Creek? And do you think they're a better chance tonight than last night or up in the air? So I'm asking him if it was I asked him 3 questions in one just in case he was able to respond. And no, there's no choppers. And they did that last night too, where they circled around with a few choppers. And now you guys can see there are 2 troopers with their police lights on. Yes, CERT is currently deployed. They're pushing the woods. No, it's not raining. So he won't tell me the exact location of where the search is. Again, and there are 2 sources. One is at the command center and one is on the ground, and the one on the ground isn't responding. No, that's old. I don't know where that one's coming from. Let me see. I think I have 2 open. That's just central dispatch. That's nothing. So at 10:31, a dispatch came through from Patch, and it's short. It looks like somebody might have clicked a button by accident, but it sounds like a helicopter.
1-5 units,
Uh, One second.
So there'll be 3 guns, 1 handgun, 1 shotgun, and there's 3 unknown type.
Sorry, that's another. I don't know why it plays the other one, but here's the clip from 10:31. It sounds like somebody in a helicopter or something. So I'm not sure if there's a helicopter coming. That's what that was at 10:31. It sounded like a helicopter, like they were in a helicopter. And no, he didn't respond.
1-5 units. Car spare the wife. Dale is not intoxicated. The domestic was visible. Dale is not aware that help has been called.
And these are from another. So let's see if anybody sent a map. I'm texting a resident real quick. So I'm just speaking with some residents who might have a better vantage point for us. I'm going to find out. But anyway, I don't see a helicopter, so that was weird that you can hear it on a radio dispatch. The last sighting, I believe, was at uh, before 7:22 around. Before that, let's keep up the good work and watch you all night. Thank you. Yes, sir. All right, guys, stay safe. Yeah, stay safe. So we might be moving closer to the scene. I'm speaking with somebody that we might be able to get closer to the scene, which would be good. It's just a 5-minute drive, but there's a lot more police activity over there. So we might head over there. You guys think we should go to another scene? You guys think that this is a bit of a boring? All right, yeah, so I'm being told that that scene is a lot better. So we're going to head there. It's about a 5-minute drive. I'm going to stay live right here as we quickly pack up, just so you guys can see everything, just in case something happens. Yeah, guys, so I'm packing up slowly because we're going to head over to a scene that has a very active police presence. It's close by. It's about a 5-minute drive, so when I end this, it'll only be about 5 minutes. And you can probably rewind after I end this stream. But the individual sent me a short video of what it looks like over there, and it's much more active than one trooper. We're going to stay live until we're finished packing, but we're going to another spot. Kyle, my man. All right, guys. So we're gonna end this for we'll be back in about 15 minutes. If there's any update, I'm gonna tweet right away and I'll go live from the car if there's anything. But we're gonna be there in about 5 minutes. Okay. So we're going to a better location than this. Okay. All right, guys. I'll see you in a little bit. I don't want to stay live because I'm not going to name. If I get asked where I'm going, I don't want to say the name on a live stream. I'm not going to out the residents or anything. So we're going to come back and let you know. We're only like 5 minutes or so from the location, so it's not going to be long. All right. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Okay, so Dandy, thank you so much. So this is the Philadelphia Inquirer, and it says the convicted murderer who escaped the Chester County Prison last week used a similar method to leave the facility as another inmate who fled from it for a second time in May, a source said Tuesday. Danelo Cavalcante, 34, climbed onto the roof of a building at the prison in the Popscorn Township early Thursday from one of the facility's exercise yards. According to the source, the prison who spoke on the condition of the anonymity because they are not authorized to discuss the investigation. Cavalcante then ran across the roof, dropped down the less secure area, fleeing the prison grounds from there, the source said. His apparent escape method was nearly identical to the one used by Igor Bolte, 30, who escaped from the county prison on May 19th but was caught nearby minutes later. A spokesperson for the Chester County District Attorney, Deborah Ryan, declined to comment. However, Cavalcante's escape, saying that the matter remains under investigation and that the focus is on capturing him. County spokesperson Rebecca Brain also declined to comment, citing the active investigation. The hunt for Cavalcante, a convicted murderer and undocumented immigrant from Brazil, reached a new intensity Tuesday, with resources from the FBI, the U.S. Border Patrol, boosting the already sizable effort. At the news conference Tuesday morning, Pennsylvania State Police Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens said that Cavalcante had escaped from the original search perimeters set up to catch him in the Popscorn Township. There's a picture. Cavalcante was recorded on a private trail camera in Longwood Gardens twice within about an hour on Monday, once heading north at 8:21 p.m. and then again returning south at 9:33 p.m., Bivens said. It was likely that he had lost his bearings and backtracked to continue his trek southward. The pressure was put on him in the working days. We squeezed him hard enough, a period for a few days. We couldn't get some relief and squeezed him out, Bivens said. I wish we could have gotten him, but it's a large, dark area and difficult terrain. The pictures from the trail camera depicted Cavalcante with a backpack, duffel bag, and hooded sweatshirt. He likely obtained those items along his travels, Bivens said. And here's a picture. So there is no evidence that he is outside help or has hidden caches of supplies stashed in the area. You're dealing with someone who's desperate and doesn't want to be caught, Bivens said. If he can't find some clothing, shelter, or food, he's going to take advantage of whatever he can. Ryan Drummond, who lives in Waterglen, not far from the prison, said that he came nearly face to face with Cavalcante late Friday when the fugitive broke onto his home, and through an unlocked door. Broke into his home. Drummond heard a noise coming from this kitchen about 11:40 p.m. as he told his wife that we were sleeping upstairs, he said in an interview Tuesday. He checked on his two daughters. Then he slowly crept into the landing on the second floor. I decided not to confront him and thought it was better to move and flick the light switch, Drummond, 42, said. And he flicked it back at me, which was terrifying. I told my wife to call 911. Cavalcante worked walked out of the Drummond's home wearing a baseball cap that belonged to Drummond. He slipped out through a French door in Drummond's living room. It says it doesn't lock properly. Later, as Drummond was taking stock of his home, he noticed that some produce purchased at a local farm stand was missing, including apples, peaches, and snap peas. The last few days have been surreal. It's tough, Drummond said. We're all jumpy, and I could see this has taking a psychological toll on my kids. If they are in the rooms by themselves, they're calling for us. Cavalcante was sentenced to life in prison on August 22nd for fatally stabbing his ex-girlfriend, Deborah Brantino, in front of her children in 2021, and he fled the Chester County Prison on Thursday and was reported missing just before 9 that morning, according to investigators. He also was wanted in Tocantins, sorry for my pronunciation, is a state in northern Brazil for allegedly shooting Walter Jr. Maria de dos Reis in November of 2017 inside a cafeteria. The municipality of Vergotes, according to the reports of Brazilian media outlet G1. Unlike Cavalcante, Bolto, the inmate who previously escaped, was apprehended relatively quickly, court records show. Bolte was in custody for violating his probation in 2019. Aggravated assault case was punching a police officer when he scaled a narrow outdoor hallway in the prison's exercise yards. According to the affidavit of the probable cause, filed for his arrest. On the escape, he was filmed doing so in the prison's security cameras, placing his feet on one wall and his hands on the other and climbing the walls in a horizontal position until he reached the roof, as the affidavit said. And then he climbed down from the roof and was seen running. Climbed down from the roof and was seen running past security station near the prison's front entrance. An officer posted near the exercise yard saw Bolte and notified the other guards that he had escaped, the affidavit said. Officers patrolled the area and found Bolte about 5 minutes later outside of a home about a half a mile from the prison. The affidavit said he was soaking wet and told the officers he had jumped into the home's pool to attempt to avoid them. Bolte later told the police that his plan was to run back towards Westchester, where he knew he could find aid. And then here's a map of where the prison is. Chester County, West Bradford. Okay. Bolte's criminal case was escape is pending, but it wasn't his first time trying to flee custody. In July 2019, a month after pleading guilty in the aggravated assault, Bolte escaped from a lower security work release center located near the main prison, according to the affidavit of probable cause filed for his arrest. Bolte ran out of an unlocked door and scaled a fence. He escaped. His attorney wrote in presenting memorandum because the fellow inmates' taunting and roughhousing made him feel threatened. Bolte, a native Russian abducted by a Pennsylvania family when he was 10 years old, suffers from PTSD due to childhood trauma, his attorney Michael Skinner wrote. Bolte ran into a wooded area near the prison, leading the state police and the county detectives on an hour-long chase, the affidavit said. He eventually surrendered, waving his arms to a police chopper overhead to signal them. For that escape, Bolte is sentenced to 9 to 23 months in prison and 1 year probation is what the records show. Thanks again, Dandy, for bringing that article up. I appreciate it. We'll take a look at this, if it'll load. Check on chat while that's loading. Thanks again for everybody for being here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let's see, make sure my head's moving. Yeah, you guys can hear me. Sweet. Life happens live. All right, and then looks like this article is the one. And it took Chester County jury just 15 minutes of deliberations to reach the first degree. There it went. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Wants me to sign up. I'm not signing up for anything. Let's see what else we can find. Let's see if we can get it in English. Or that way you guys can at least see it. Yep, here we go. Suspect of killing ex-wife in the U.S. is on run from murder. Is this a different picture of him, or is this the guy he murdered? Nope, don't want to give up my location. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. Let's see if Nick's back on. Said he was driving a few minutes down the road and wanted to keep the location private. So we'll give that a second to load. Oh, here's a video.
Hello, I'm Molly at HalloweenCostumes.com and
Oh, no, sorry, Molly.
Dois casos de feminicídio chocaram os...
Okay, yeah, that's not going to do me much good. So, I'll stop sharing. Go over here to Twitter. I can share this with you guys. So this is Nick's Twitter. And this is the photo, one of the photos from earlier. It says the convict was spotted on trail cam on Longwood Gardens property on the east side of 52 Bridge that borders Kendall. Camera picked him up at 10:33 p.m. So see, like we were saying, sleeping during the day while it's hot and moving at night. Now this is the one that just ended. That's from earlier today. These are all going to be from earlier today. Let me refresh it because it's been sitting here for a minute. Again, thank you for everybody that's come in. Appreciate everybody being here and hanging out. I haven't been talking much because I figured what he had to say was more important than anything I was going to say. So it looks like he has all the same pictures. So we'll see if we can find the other ones. Okay, so we'll go to media. Here we go. Rose has got them, so we'll just pull this up. So credit to Rose for sharing. See the backpack, guys. There's another shot. Like a long sleeve shirt on, it looks like. What else do we got here? JLR's got some stuff posted. It's an aerial view. So this is what I was trying to get my Google to do, but it don't want to play fair tonight. So the rest of the pictures, we just looked at those. Here's a closer one. Just looking down through here, there's Frankie. Frankie was live earlier. She had different footage. Guys, make sure you go sub up to Frankie. Nightbot should be dropping her link. Let's see, we got a video here.
For a convicted murderer who was murdered. Also following this urgent manhunt at this hour outside Philadelphia for a convicted murderer who escaped from prison, believed to be possibly hiding in the woods now. New images emerging tonight. These images captured on a trail camera overnight about 5 miles from the Chester County Prison. This is west of Philadelphia. Tonight, the search area has now expanded. In fact, schools in 2 districts had to close today. And overheard from the helicopter today, a message from the suspect's mother urging him to surrender. You can hear in the background there. ABC's Trevor Ault in Pennsylvania tonight.
Tonight, eerie new trail camera images of escaped murderer Danelo Cavalcante, as authorities say overnight he slipped past their search perimeter for the first time.
The photos confirm that Cavalcante has not changed his appearance, but also that he has obtained a backpack, a duffel sling type pack, and a hooded sweatshirt.
Law enforcement now shifting their search zone south, still confident the 34-year-old is lurking in the woods close to the prison, about 30 miles west of Philadelphia.
We realized within just a few hours where he was, and so he's not had a tremendous amount of time to move a long distance.
Cavalcante is sentenced to life in prison for killing his ex-girlfriend in front of her 2 small children, and he's considered extremely dangerous. Overnight, 2 nearby school districts closing.
Everybody's like a little bit nervous, I guess, because of the murderer.
There's definitely people who are closer to that area that are very nervous and terrified.
And tonight, the Philadelphia Inquirer reports a source inside the prison told them how Cavalcante escaped Thursday, explaining he climbed onto the roof from one of the facility's exercise yards, then ran across the roof and dropped down to a less secure area, fleeing the prison grounds from there. And the source says this was nearly identical to how a previous prisoner escaped only months ago. State police and the district attorney's office declined to comment. The prison did not return our request for comment. An investigation into the escape is ongoing.
He's a bad guy. He needs to be in custody, and we're determined to capture him.
And David, some parts of this area are so densely wooded that authorities have to search within a few yards of each other. But they say there is no evidence that Cavalcante has had any outside help, and they believe as he gets more desperate, he will reveal himself. David?
All right, Trevor Ault, west of Philadelphia tonight. Trevor, thank you.
So there was that. That was an interesting video. Look here, we got Chopper. It's going to be a bunch of ads, apparently, and that's what we were looking at earlier on the Google, where I had it pulled up where the roads were blocked off. So this was like a flight record. These are really cool. When Tater was here, this is what I would have him look up for me. All right, let's see what News Nation had to say. This was posted 14 hours ago.
Update from Pennsylvania State Police on this, on the search for Danelo Cavalcante, to an active manhunt west of Philadelphia for an escaped murderer. In just a matter of minutes, we are expecting an update from Pennsylvania State Police on this, on the search for Danelo Cavalcante.
You maybe don't know his name, but hopefully you've seen this photo because we want to get it out there. Cavalcante was recently convicted of brutally killing his girlfriend in front of her kids. The message from authorities: lock your homes, lock your cars. Dre Clark is reporting on this one for us. Investigators now are actually getting some clues as to his location, which is certainly good news.
Yeah, good morning, guys. You know, this situation has become so serious that schools in the area where the search is happening are now closed, and parents are being told to keep their children indoors until police can get their hands on Cavalcante and get him back behind bars. Meanwhile, Pennsylvania State Police say there have been 4 confirmed sightings of Cavalcante, the most recent one happening on Sunday. And we learned yesterday Cavalcante is actually the 2nd inmate to escape from the Chester County Prison there in Pennsylvania, leading some to believe the prison is vulnerable security-wise and more inmates could escape. Investigators say they'll deal with that at the appropriate time, but their focus right now is getting a convicted murderer back behind bars.
The search area to find 34-year-old convicted murderer Danelo Cavalcante has been narrowed down to a 2-mile radius. Investigators believe Cavalcante is hiding in a wooded area near the prison where he escaped in Chester County, Pennsylvania last Thursday. Police are broadcasting a voice familiar to Cavalcante on a loudspeaker in hopes of drawing him out.
We've had the individual's mother make a recording asking him to surrender peacefully. It's done in Spanish, or actually Portuguese.
The Pennsylvania State Police has taken over the search, and the man leading the charge is Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens. In July, Bivens led the search to find accused kidnapper and murder suspect Michael Burham, who escaped from the Warren County Prison in northwestern Pennsylvania using bedsheets. Burham was arrested 9 days after his escape. Now Bivens believes they're closing in on Cavalcante.
We'll continue to push him hard. I intend to stress him. I want to push him hard. He'll make mistakes.
Cavalcante was convicted of murder on August 16th. A jury returned a guilty verdict in only 15 minutes. He stabbed his ex-girlfriend 38 times in front of her children. Investigators say he killed the woman after she became aware he was wanted for murder in his native Brazil. A home surveillance camera captured this video of Cavalcante walking around early Saturday morning. Police now warning people who live near the search area to keep all doors and windows locked, believing the more desperate Cavalcante is, the more dangerous he could become.
We are doing everything. We're bringing in all the experts in this area. We have the top men and women working around the clock to bring this man to justice, and we're not going to stop until he's captured.
There have been at least 2 burglaries in the same area where the search is happening, and police believe Cavalcante is the lead suspect in both of those burglaries. At one point, a Pennsylvania state trooper says he saw Cavalcante from a distance, but during the pursuit, he lost track of him. Meanwhile, investigators still have not explained how it was possible for Cavalcante to make that escape. They say right now, again, their focus is on finding him and getting him back behind bars. And Adrian, in regards to that news conference that should be happening in about 10 minutes from now, that's interesting because they usually have them in the...
Okay, so now we know how he escaped. So that was an older video. So there may not be much on here. Take a look at the top posted. Okay, I think it's just the same that we've already seen. Yeah. And I checked to see if Nick was live. Papa News is live. Was. So they're kind of like circling the same area. These are older posts. Check one more time and see if Nick's back. And he is not back, guys. And it's late. I thank everybody for being here. And I'm going to call it a night. If anything happens or there's any kind of breaking news or Nick comes back, I may come back live. If you guys would like to come back in and chat and hang out, that'd be awesome. Again, I appreciate everybody for being here. Remember, if you see something, say something. It takes a village to raise a child. Never give up. And always know you're not alone. And in the world we live in, we always know, I know who causes these horrible things to happen.
Let's see, I don't know. Let me think. Let me knock on Mr. Noggin. Who could trick us into doing that? Could have been Satan.